Alright, so this is the LEGO Stranger Things Upside Down, and I'm going to be doing a review on it. So, this set released in June of 2019 for a retail price of $200, and this set retired in December of 2021. If you want this set new, sealed in the box, you should be expecting to pay around $330. And this has set number 75810, 2,287 pieces, 8 minifigures, and an age rating of 16 plus. And one really cool thing about the set is actually the instruction manuals, because they are meant to resemble classified documents, which is really cool. The first one looks pretty normal, and the second one is more corrupted by the Upside Down. And they have some information about the show, some pictures, and comparisons between the characters and the figures. The same thing goes for the second one, just some different information, and some different characters. But I mean, this is really cool. It is definitely a lot more interesting than the normal render we get on instruction manuals. And these are the figures. Luckily, I feel like the minifigure selection is pretty good, and I also feel like 8 minifigures was the perfect amount for this set. First up, let's talk about the main gang themselves. And luckily, I feel like all of the figures are very good. They all have extremely detailed printing on their torso, which looks great, and they also use the mid-sized legs, which I feel like is a pretty good fit. And all of their face prints are pretty accurate. Dustin uses this interesting hair and hat combo, which looks pretty good, and recently, LEGO has been recoloring this piece and using it on other figures. And this piece is actually dual molded. Will, of course, has this classic bowl cut, which was actually a new piece for the set. Lucas actually reuses the top piece from this pirate, just recolored in black, and with a very good print for his camo bandana. And Mike just has this pretty common hairpiece. But I feel like the Luke Skywalker hairpiece, recolored in black, would have looked a lot better. If you're curious, these are the back prints. And these are the second faces. Lucas doesn't have one because of his hairpiece. We also get 11, and the best figure in the set, the Demogorgon. 11 has a pretty good print in her torso for her pink dress and her blue jacket, and she uses the mid-sized legs in white, with a cloth skirt in pink, which is pretty cool. And for her wig, she uses this pretty common hairpiece in bright yellow, but I kind of wish she included a second hairpiece for her buzz cut. And her face print is okay, it's nothing special really. The Demogorgon has an amazing print on his torso, and he actually reuses the fawn legs. He has this extremely unique mold for the flower mouth, with some great printing. And this piece was actually recolored in white and used in the Orchid set. Underneath it, it is just a normal minifigure head, but with a print for the Demogorgon with the closed mouth. But I feel like the mouth open looks a lot cooler. If you're curious, these are the back prints. And while the Demogorgon is a great figure, my only complaint with them is I feel like he isn't really tall enough. Something I think LEGO should have done is use the arms from this Woody and then make a new mold for his legs, which would kind of be a combination between the legs from the Woody and the fawn. And finally, we have Joyce and Hopper. And luckily, these are also pretty good figures. They both have great printing on their torsos, but sadly, they don't have any leg printing, which I feel like they would have benefited from. Both of the face prints, I feel like, are pretty accurate. And Joyce actually reuses the hairpiece from Hermione. But I mean, the hairpiece does fit the figure pretty well. If you're curious, these are the back prints. This is Joyce's second face. Hopper doesn't have one because of his hat. Included with Joyce is actually a printed tile of Will's drawing. Included with the set is actually a little display plaque, with a pretty big sticker right there, which of course says Stranger Things. And on the side, there are spots for 4 figures. And there's one thing that I don't like about this, and that is the fact that there are only spots for 4 figures, because there are 8 in the set. So I don't understand why they didn't put another 4 on the other side. Kind of like this. And I feel like this just looks a lot better, and is more symmetrical. We also get Hopper's police car. On the side, there's a sticker which says Hawkins Police Department, and there is also one on the other side. And there are also some windows right there, which look pretty good, and that sticker is supposed to represent the window kind of sloping down. There's another window at the back, with a license plate and 2 red lights. The front of the car also looks pretty good. Unsurprisingly, there are of course police lights at the top. If you want to get inside, it's pretty simple. You just have to take off the entire roof. And there's enough space for one figure right there. And that pumpkin in the back is actually a reference to Season 2. Like most police cars, there's also some bars right there. There's also a steering wheel. Of course, you can put Hopper in his car. And luckily, he looks pretty good in it. But his hat kind of pushes him forward a little bit. Finally, we're on to the main build. First, I actually want to talk about these trees. Because, as you can see, these trees are meant to support the entire set. Despite that being their main purpose, I feel like they don't look that terrible. I wouldn't say they look good, but I've definitely seen a lot worse looking trees. One of the trees, there's actually a missing poster for Barbara Holland, which is a very cool Easter egg. And LEGO did actually make her as an official figure, but it was a Comic-Con exclusive, so she is kinda expensive. In front of the house, there's some nice olive green grass, a couple little stones, even some leading up to the front door. That rock with a Technic pin is actually where you are supposed to put Hopper's car. At the bottom, you can see some Technic holes, and you're supposed to attach it just like that. Although, I feel like the car kind of takes up a lot of space. The front porch is also very nice, with some furniture on it, like a lawn chair, a table, a little bench, another table, and a swinging chair. There's also a doormat and a little pot. For the pillars, there's also the house number. The roof also looks pretty good. It is at a slight angle. Right there, there's also a little white trim. On a couple of the windows, there are newspapers covering them up, which looks pretty good. There's also a hole in the wall right there. There isn't too much going on the sides of the house, just a window and a chimney. Same thing for the other side, just a bigger window and another chimney. Anyway, let's get onto the interior. Here is the interior. In the living room, there is a nice yellow and white couch with a coffee table right there. On the coffee table, there is actually a missing poster for Will, and it is your standard missing poster. However, the height is 1.5 inches tall, which is pretty accurate. On the couch, there is of course the alphabet with the Christmas lights, and there are some more lights on top. There's also a light brick right there, which you can shine, and you can even see some dots. Because in front of the light brick, there is actually that piece with some holes, which is pretty cool, but the lights don't really point to any specific letters. On the floor, there is the bear trap, and on the wall, there are some pictures and the phone. Here, there is Will's bedroom, which is pretty small. At the back, there's a desk with a boombox and a lamp. There are also 3 more lamps on the floor. In the center, there's his bed, which is also pretty small, but he can still fit. Behind the bed, there are some posters and drawings, and there's also a Jaws poster right there. But it says Shark because at the time, LEGO didn't have the rights. Of course, they do now. Opposite side of Will's bedroom, there is a nice green chair with a potted plant, some boxes in the back, one even says Christmas, and a pretty cool D&D rulebook. Right there, there's supposed to be Jonathan's film camera. However, I could not find the piece anywhere. And over here, there is Will's wizard hat and some papers. The top paper is actually Will's drawing of the Mind Flayer, which is a reference to Season 2, which is pretty cool. Anyway, I suppose it's about time we should take a look at the upside-down version of the house. And here we go. I'm not going to talk too much about this side, just because it is essentially the exact same as the other one, just everything is mirrored, darker, and there's some vines. All of the olive green grass has been replaced with dark gray. There are a couple little vines on the ground, and even some wrapped around the pillars. The newspapers in the windows are all ripped up, and so is the poster. There is still a hole in the wall, it is just covered up by that vine. I do like the dark blue roof, I think it looks pretty good, and as you can see there are some vines on it. Chimneys have some vines on them, and the windows are now dark gray. Anyway, onto the interior. The couch and coffee table are now black, and the poster is still there, just more ripped up. The alphabet in the back is covered up with some vines, and you can actually see 4 lights lit up. That being LEGO, which spells out Lego, which is pretty cool. Over here, the chair is now dark blue, the plant is this vine thing, and the boxes are now black. His bedroom is also pretty much the same as his normal one, just darker. But you can see a vine coming from the ceiling, and the Jaws poster is ripped up. If you're curious, there is not anything up here. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the Upside Down. Sorry that I didn't talk too much about it. It's pretty much the exact same as this side, just mirrored and darker. So there wasn't really too much I could talk about. Anyway, would I recommend that you get the set? Honestly, I don't know. If you are a hardcore Stranger Things fan, then yeah, I probably would. But if you are more of a casual fan, then I would only really recommend that you get the Brickheads. It's just, the set is quite expensive, but it is very good. If you want, you could also display the houses just by themselves and not attached. Kind of like this. Which isn't a bad option. Anyway, this is a very good set, so I think I would give it about a 9.5 out of 10.